Jeffrey Ross Hyman was born in Forest Hills, Queens, on May 19, 1951. From general accounts, he had a very dysfunctional family life, and his parents divorced when he was in his early teen years. He turned to music to escape his problems at home, and at Forest Hills High, he met Douglas Colvin and John Cummings. All shared an interest in music, and in 1974 founded the Ramones. The band released their first album, The Ramones, in 1976 with hit song Blitzkrieg Bop. With this album, the Ramones are widely credited as the fathers of punk rock, a genre that would later breed such popular bands as The Clash, the Sex Pistols, the Dead Kennedys, Misfits, Bad Religion, Green Day, and My Chemical Romance. The Ramones would follow this album up in 1977 with two records, Leave Home and Rocket to Russia, with such hits as Sheena is a Punk Rocker and Pinhead, which had audiences chanting the popular refrain. In 1978, drummer Tommy Ramone left the band, tired of touring, to be replaced by Mark Bell, who adopted the stage name Marky Ramone. Tommy remained record producer and remains the band's only living founding member. During their time with Marky, the band released Road to Ruin with one of their most well-known songs, I Wanna Be Sedated. It included the first Ramones songs to last more than 3 minutes. The album failed to crack the Billboard's Top 100. As the Ramones grew in popularity, Roger Corman released feature film Rock and Roll High School starring the Ramones.
Vince Lombardi High is your school, Miss Togar. So you can have it.
Well, I'm very happy to see that you've come to your senses. And what would you have done with the school anyway?
Rock the roof off it. Hit it, Marky!
Rock, 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 rock.
Legend Phil Spector produced their highest-charting album, End of the Century, reaching number 44 in America and number 14 in Great Britain. In the next 3 years, the Ramones released 2 more albums, Pleasant Dreams and Subterranean Jungle. After its release, Marky was fired because of alcoholism and drug abuse, and replaced by Richard Reinhardt, or Richie Ramone. With Richie, they released Too Tough to Die in 1984. Many considered the album a return from a more pop style of music. Their main release of 1985 was the British single Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, in protest of President Ronald Reagan's visit to Bitburg, Germany. This single was featured on their 9th studio album, Animal Boy. Their last album with Richie was Halfway to Sanity. He quit in August 1987 after a financial dispute with the band.
There was a lot of money in T-shirts made. When it came to T-shirt money, I wasn't a Ramone. And this is after 5 years, you know. I felt I was due. I wasn't asking for the world. I felt I should get a little of that T-shirt money. What's the big deal?
His replacement was Clem Burke, the drummer from Blondie, who took the name Elvis Ramone. He only lasted 2 shows.
And they asked me on a Monday. They had a gig on a Friday. I did several shows with the band at that point. And it was the hardest work I ever did, really, in a band. I was going to be Elvis Ramone.
He couldn't keep up. It was a disaster. Clem Burke.
Marky Ramone managed to recover from his alcoholism and rejoined the band that same year. In 1989, after the release of the album Brain Drain, Dee Dee Ramone left the band to pursue a short-lived hip-hop career. Under the name Dee Dee King, he released one album entitled Standing in the Spotlight. Dee Dee was replaced by Christopher Joseph Ward, or C.J. Ramone, who remained bassist until the band's breakup. During the 90s, the Ramones moved to a new label, Radioactive Records. Their first album with Radioactive was in 1992, Mondo Bizarro, followed by an album containing only cover songs, Acid Eaters. In 1993, the Ramones were featured on an episode of The Simpsons entitled Rosebud. In 1995, they released Adios Amigos and announced their plans to break up if the album was not a hit. The sales were unspectacular, and the band spent the rest of 1995 on their farewell tour. They played their final show on August 6, 1996. A recording of the concert was released as We're Out of Here on DVD and CD featuring many guests. While in his last years with the band, Joey was diagnosed with lymphoma. After a 7-year-long battle with the cancer, Joey died on April 15, 2001 in New York. A year later, the solo album Joey had recorded while battling with the disease was released. The album was entitled Don't Worry About Me, a fitting farewell from the never self-pitying legend. On November 3, 2003, a block of East 2nd Street was named Joey Ramone Place. This is the block that Hyman once lived on with Dee Dee and is near the music club CBGB, where the Ramones got their start. Sadly, Joey did not live to see the Ramones' induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Popular punk band Green Day did a cover of Teenage Lobotomy and Blitzkrieg Bop as a tribute. The surviving inductees spoke on behalf of the band.
The honor of our induction to the Hall of Fame means a lot to us, but it really meant everything to Joey.
The ceremony was one of Dee Dee's last public appearances before he was found dead of a heroin overdose 2 months later. Johnny had been privately battling prostate cancer and finally passed away on September 15, 2004. The Ramones never released a top 40s hit. They never won a single Grammy Award. Their only record to be certified gold was a compilation album, and they never cared. Their music inspired a generation and now survives all but one founding member of the band. The Ramones wouldn't have had it any other way.